So this morning, a lot of head scratching about why the president decided to slap huge tariffs on U.S. allies. You even just heard a conservative economist on our show calling it a win for China. It's also sparking backlash from some of the nation's top business leaders. Bill Ford, the executive chairman of Ford Motor Company, just told me yesterday why it is such a bad idea. Listen. The Trump White House has slapped 25% tariff on $50 billion of Chinese goods. Is that good or bad for America?
Well, I think, anytime you get into a trade war, it's not a good thing.
Does this get us closer to a trade war?
Well, it gets us closer. It doesn't necessarily put us in it. I still believe, on balance, that free trade is the right thing, because we've all seen before in other parts of the world where you start this and then there's a retaliatory movement.
China has vowed to retaliate.
Well, and then it starts to escalate, and that's really not good for anybody.
You talk to the president a lot on the phone, or at least you used to.
Not so much anymore.
All right. He used to call you for advice a lot. Did he call you for advice on this?
Not me personally, but our people have been talking to his administration about NAFTA, about the EU, about China, and really the thought that the trade ought to be, on balance, free trade.
In addition to this news on China, we've learned that the U.S. will slap tariffs on imported steel and aluminum from our allies, from the EU, from Canada, from Mexico. Is that good for American jobs?
Well, depends what you... overall, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is I believe this number is right, or if it's not, it's directionally right. There are 80 times more jobs around people who use steel than people who produce steel. And so if that's directionally correct, and I believe it is, then you're putting those jobs potentially at jeopardy as the price of steel starts to go up. And the price of steel inevitably will go up with this. So we're not in favor of that, no.
Of course, Ford, a huge U.S. jobs provider. All right, breaking news. Let's get straight to Wall Street. We're watching the markets open on this day after these huge tariffs were announced. Christina Leshy on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Good morning. What's it looking like?
Good morning. Investors definitely in a better mood today after being spooked yesterday by those aluminum and steel tariffs. We're opening higher, 164 points higher. That's a remarkable rebound from yesterday. The Dow was down 350 points, Poppy. Look, some of this positive sentiment was helped by the jobs report, which came out at 8:30 this morning. It was a strong jobs report, about 223,000 jobs added. Unemployment was at a record low, an 18-year low of about 3.8%, Poppy. So that's helping this positive sentiment. We're going to see how this plays out through the rest of the day. But the president will likely take credit for this rally. We've already seen him tease to the job report this morning before it came out. And this is a Goldilocks report, really. It shows that the economy is still strong, but not too strong so that investors worry that the Fed will raise rates faster than expected. This is why the business community, and to your point about your interview with that CEO, this is why the community doesn't understand why the administration would want to muck things up right now by picking a trade dispute, war with our biggest allies at a time when things seem to be going along just fine, Poppy.
It's a head scratcher for sure.